Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just conduct of the people, we beseech you, behold, with your abundant favor, as your servants, whom you've been pleased to call for the performance of this county, let your blessings upon us here assembled, rather to treat and consider our matters of so just in faithful manners to promote your honor and glory and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county, and of those whose interests you committed to our church. Amen. Clerk, take us to the order of the day.
Order paper number 168 of today, Thursday, 4th April 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I want to make two communications. Number 1, yesterday I did communicate to you that immediately after the plenary, we'll be having a Kamkunji. And on the same note, the leader of majority had requested that I inform all the elected members to meet him. I have consulted him and we have agreed that we are going to combine the two meetings. We'll have the Kamkunji, and then later it's going to beat the elected leaders. Please inform the other members that we are having a Kamkunji. It's very important for us. At the same time, those who are elected, inform your colleagues. My second communication is in regard to a petition that was tabled yesterday by the Committee of Trade, Tourism, Marketing, and Transportation on the alleged rogue leadership of Market Management Committee of Kibuye. I did direct that I will provide a considered opinion on the same, and I provide as follows. I refer ourselves to standing order number 217, which provides for the tabling of a petition in the county assembly with the exemption of the speaker giving opportunity for members to debate. But allow me to refer the members to the whole chapter or the whole part, that is part 23 of the standing order. It is about public petitions. 209 provides for the meaning of petition as per the standing order and the various statutes. 210 provides for the submission of a petition. 211 provides for petition on private bills. while 212 provides for notice of intention to present a petition. 213 provides for form of petitions. 214 provides for the time for petitions, while 215 provides for presentation of petitions. 216 gives the provision for comments on petitions. And it says as the speaker may allow comments, observations, or clarification in relation to a petition presented or reported, and such total time shall not exceed 30 minutes. That is when a petition is presented. 217 provides for committal of petitions. And 218 provides for copies of response. 219 provides for register of petitions. And that one marks the end of our provisions in regard to managing or handling petitions in the County Assembly of Kisumu as per our standing order. Honorable members, I did align myself to 217(2) of the standing order, which provides that whenever a petition is committed to a central committee, the committee shall, in not more than 60 calendar days from the time of reading the prayer, respond to the petitioner by way of report addressed to the petitioner or petition and laid it on the table of the County Assembly, and no debate on or in relation to the report shall be allowed, but the Speaker may, in exceptional circumstances, allow comments or observation in relation to the petitions for not more than 20 minutes. Honorable members, this petition was brought to this Assembly last year. The committee requested for extension of time several times. And with the approval of the Speaker, it went beyond 60 days. It was finally brought to the Assembly. I did go through it, and I allowed members to comment. Going by the exceptional occurrence that happened, I consulted the standing order and realized that there is no provision in handling such occurrence. When there was feeling that there is need to debate or to return the petition to the committee or to further allow for engagement with the petitioners and the petitioned. Honorable members, I did allude myself to standing order number 1, which provides for matters not expressly provided for in the standing order. I have also consulted further with the other parliaments, including Senate and National Assembly, on how such matter can be handled. And I want to direct as follows, that the petition will be directed back to the committee, and I have discussed with the clerk to give more technical persons for purposes of redoing the report based on the stakeholder meetings that were held by the committee. This is in line with the contradictions that were witnessed or observed in the report itself based on the stakeholders meeting and engagements therein. Number 2, I direct that a procedural motion be moved by either the leader of majority preferably or any member of the House Business Committee as shall be directed, to allow for exemption of that motion from the standing orders number 217. I repeat, I direct that a procedural motion be moved by the leader of majority or preferably or a member of the House Business Committee to allow for exemption of that petition from the provision of standing order number 217 so that the members can debate and give amendments. Honorable members, I want to remind ourselves that we had gone through training on how to provide amendments on reports. So once the report is ready, which I direct that it should be the first item when members come from recess. The members will go through it, normally once laid to the House and the motion moved. Any amendment proposed should be as per the provisions of the standing order. Honorable members, with that, I think the House stands guided, and the Committee of Trade, Tourism, Marketing and Industry will have to redo the report with the guidance of the technical team that shall be provided by the clerk, and table the report upon reporting back from the short recess. And so I direct. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
It is statement time. Honorable Benson Adega.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I arise pursuant to Standing Order number 41, Clause 2B, to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Committee of Planning on the matter of the deplorable state of Mamboleo Market in Kajulu Ward. Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this Honorable House that Mamboleo Market is currently in deplorable condition marred with insecurity, which has negatively affected trading within Mamboleo Market. The market currently does not have basic amenities such as toilet, as the current one is two-door toilet which no water and therefore not usable. The market further does not have a garbage collection container, and this has been the market littered at every point with the garbage. Whereas the market also hosts cattle traders, there is no defined cattle market, and this has forced the cattle traders to invade business stalls belonging to other traders in order to sell their cattle. This is adequate facility coupled with the absence of a floodlight for almost 1 year, now has further added to the deplorable state. Honorable Speaker, I wish to further inform this House that the level of insecurity due to the absence of a floodlight within Mamboleo Market has reached level of emergency, and this has had 4 people brutally murdered within the last 3 months alone. This is in itself an indication that due to lack of security measures within the market has become a brooding area for gangs and criminals. Honorable Speaker, I therefore wish to seek a statement from the Chairperson of the Committee on Planning to provide a response on the following matters. Whether the Mamboleo Market has a plan and status of implementation of such a plan. 2, when will the floodlight be repaired to enhance security within the market? 3, who has liability of the management of the market? Mr. Speaker, if I may tell you now, it is in a public domain that at Mamboleo, it can't take within 1 month if someone has not been murdered. Every day, the traders are in bad state, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Chair of Lands, Urban Planning. The Honorable Chair, Urban Planning. The Vice Chair. I'm informed they're in a committee meeting, but let me direct that this statement is directed to the Committee of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Urban Development. And with the statement, I want to direct that they work on the statement and give feedback to the House in the last week of April. Honorable Karen Odhiambo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is a personal statement under Standing Order number 42. Honorable Speaker, I raise personal Standing Orders number 42 on personal statement on the matter of acquisition of new iPads for the honorable members. Honorable Speaker, I wish to take this opportunity to thank you and your administration for providing iPads to the honorable members. Indeed, acquiring this device for the members means a great deal to the operations of this honorable House. And not only does it serve as validation of the need to enhance oversight and legislative performance of this honorable House, but it also provides honorable members with necessary tools to further their constitutional mandates. Personally, I am excited about the possibilities that this computer device opens up for the honorable members, both individually and professionally. It will undoubtedly enhance the productivity, creativity, and ability to make a positive impact in their legislative mandates. Honorable Speaker, I wish to request your office that in furtherance of this good gesture, the members be taken for a special training aimed at training the members on the usage of the device. This will be needful as most members are used to the annual system, which is easier to navigate as compared to the new system. Honorable Speaker, I therefore wish to request that this training be facilitated in good time to aid the members in the usage of these devices. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Karen. I think I have noticed that almost all members now have the iPad. The reason why we are providing the iPad is because we no longer want to print documents. You are supposed to be environmentally active in terms of being a friend to the environment. So in order to minimize printing, we have provided you with the iPads. Also remember the world is going digital. And I want to implore my friend Honorable Benny Peter Wiko. Is the one who should be requesting that he be taken through handling the same, because he has also requested that he is analog. This time around, Honorable Benny Peter, you have to be digital. I will organize with the clerk to take members through not how to use the device, but on the items that will be sent in that device. We will no longer give you a hard copy of the reports, not even the order paper, not even the minutes of committees. All the minutes, the answers, the order paper shall be in a particular folder in your iPad automatically. So you will be advised on how to access those folders each day, so that the complaint of not receiving reports on time, I think, will be a thing of the past. Remember also that we are going to be able to cut cost in terms of purchase of reams of papers when we use the iPads. But I want to request that you be your own keeper. Once we complete the ultramodern assembly, I think we'll have fixed gadgets on the tables. But in the meantime, that was the only improvised way that we can ensure that each member accesses our information digitally without going through the challenge of printing, distributing, and even filing. So please take care of it. Make good use of it. It's not only for taking photos, it's for ensuring that the assembly proceedings goes on well. So thank you so much, Honorable Karen, for raising that. I saw the Honorable Maurice Ngeta. Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise on a standing order.
A point of order.
Point of order.
The Speaker, the honorable member for ours is naked.
Your microphone, Honorable Lumumba. Honorable Ruben Rakwach. Honorable Geta, can you stand up?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Geta, you need to dress up properly. Just pull your tie to be where it's supposed to be. Yeah. You need to be smart. Honorable,
Smart,
I can see Honorable Geta is properly dressed.
Yes.
Speaker.
Yes. Yes.
Turn off your microphone, Honorable Geta. Turn your microphone, Honorable Lumumba Owade.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, even if you see the way honorable member, assumed honorable member is appearing, it is very degrading to this house, Mr. Speaker. Let these people know how to dress and dress decently as honorable members of the assembly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ruben Rakwach, can you help me confirm if the member sitting next to you is properly dressed?
Honorable Speaker, I can see he's in a shirt, a necktie, and a coat. So I conclude that he's well dressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise on a standing order number 42 on a personal statement, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to congratulate your leadership and the entire leadership of this House for organizing such a wonderful and a robust training in Nairobi, which was conducted by the Center of Parliamentary Studies and Training, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would wish if we can have such kind of meetings, Mr. Speaker, so that most of our members can acquire more knowledge, especially in a legislative role, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we learned a lot in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, through that training, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I can tell you for a fact that these members are now understanding standing roles, standing orders, and well versed in legislative role, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, thank you, and I want to thank members who attended the training, and I believe we have something added to us, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion. Adoption of a report of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of Chulaimbo County Hospital.
Honorable Chair, help.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, orders number 194 2B vest the responsibility of preparing programs of the House committees In light with this, the Committee of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee developed its annual work plan for the financial year 2023-2024, where among its listed activities of the year was to conduct a field visit to healthcare facilities to assess service delivery pursuant to Standing Order number 193.5 Part E. At its sitting on Thursday, 29th June 2023, the committee resolved to carry out surveillance exercise to the health facilities within the county in a dedicated effort to ensure enhancement of healthcare services offered and seamless functionality, and developed a program thereof. That one you can see on the Annex 3. With the authority of the Honorable Speaker, the committee conducted a surveillance exercise at Chulaimbo County Hospital on the 7th July 2023 to gain first-hand understanding of the hospital operation and identify areas for improvement to enhance patient care and staff well-being. Honorable Speaker, the committee from the visit established that these facilities by large face similar challenges, and to mention a few, there was an issue of inadequate human resource, there was issue of poor waste disposal, facility also held a faulty electrical system, and there were condemned buildings, among others. These are evident in these three reports previously tabled, where the committee proposed recommendation thereof. Mr. Speaker, this report therefore details the committee findings during the surveillance exercise carried out at Chulaimbo County Hospital. It outlines the facility performance, staffing situation, services offered, infrastructure, financial status, and the challenges. Honorable Speaker, the committee is deeply concerned that the previous reports presented before this House all enlightened similar issues that were seen at Chulaimbo, and these issues are faced by the healthcare facilities. In each of these reports, the committee proposed recommendation for improvement. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, the implementation status of some of these recommendations remains unclear, and the committee is wary that the proposal outlined in this report may suffer the same fate, may gather dust on the shelves. Honorable Speaker, the committee has three of this nature, which it intends to table before this House for adoption. Knowing the status of their implementation in the scenario is crucial in that it will prevent wastage or other duplication of efforts and allow the committee to propose alternative approaches in the pending reports. It will allow the committee to hold relevant parties accountable for the inaction and demonstrate the potential ineffectiveness of simple proposing new resolutions. Thirdly, it will allow the committee to focus on the most critical issues that haven't been addressed and tailor their approach based on the past implementation successes or failures. And fourth, it will help the committee to strategize for better implementation. Mr. Speaker, lack of action on part of resolutions demoralizes the spirit of the honorable members who work tirelessly to bring positive change in their jurisdiction. It can also lead to public distrust in the work of the committee and of the county assembly as a whole. The committee therefore implores the House resolve to compel the committee on implementation to submit to the House the implementation status of the House resolution and the following reports of the Medical Service, Public Health and Sanitation Committee, whose timelines in accordance with the orders number 184 have long elapsed on or before Wednesday, 24th April 2024. There is one report on the status of the Referral Hospital of Kisumu County on 10th August 2023 that was tabled here. Another one was report on the status of Nyakach County Hospital, that is Paponditi, on 6th September that was also tabled in this assembly. Another one was report on the status of the sub-county hospitals within Kisumu County that was tabled on 6th December 2023. Mr. Speaker, the committee recommends that these concerns, notwithstanding, the committee remains committed to improving health care and has thus proposed recommendation in page 12 of this report that it believes, if implemented, have the potential to significantly enhance the quality of care provided and create safe and healthy environment for both patients and staff. Finally, Mr. Speaker, may I take this opportunity to convey the committee's utmost gratitude to the officers of the Speaker and the Clerk of the County Assembly, its members and the Secretariat, not forgetting the management of Chulaimbo County Hospital, led by the MedSoup, for their support, dedication, and cooperation before and during and after the exercise that ensured its success, although to the point of production of this report. It's therefore a great honor, Mr. Speaker, and privilege on behalf of the committee to move this motion that this House adopts the report of the Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation on the status of Chulaimbo County Hospital. The Speaker, therefore, request the Deputy Chair of the committee, Honorable Emily, to second this motion. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to second this motion. And first of all, I'd like to mention the cross-cutting issues across all the facilities around the county. This committee took site visits to most of our health facilities, and we brought reports here. Actually, if you look at the observations, most of them are cross-cutting. And there's one key issue that is cross-cutting that is really disturbing. That is on the condemned buildings. Some of these condemned buildings, especially the one at Chulaimbo Hospital, if you look at it, it looks like a building that can be occupied. But if you ask them, who condemned the building? And did they give a report to the facility? There's actually no report that was given to the facility. So you find that the Department of Public Works needs to work with some of these facilities and actually confirm if some of these buildings that are condemned are really condemned and are not usable, because the number is quite worrying. And secondly, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to mention on the power issue at Chulaimbo Hospital. I remember when we took a visit to the facility, we asked why they haven't received power backup, because there was a proposal some time back that a generator was supposed to be purchased. And we found out that actually the generator was supposed to be purchased, but no one was willing to take up the tender because of pending bills issue. You find most suppliers were actually shying away from taking up the contract. So you find that these are some of the things that actually the issue of pending bills in the county actually cost the county. So you find a health facility doesn't have any power backup because no supplier wants to take up some of these supplies. And also, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to encourage the House to support the committee's recommendations, because usually we come here with very good recommendations, and only if some of them were actually implemented as soon as possible, then we'd actually be able to see changes in some of our health facilities and service delivery to the people of Kisumu County. Because you find that some of these recommendations need immediate action that would be able to help, that would help the facilities be able to operate in an orderly manner and be able to offer services. Because right now you find the challenges at JOTRH, because JOTRH is actually carrying all the burden from the sub-county hospitals. If only the sub-county hospitals could be well equipped, then we will not really be having issues at JOTRH that are currently being experienced. Otherwise, I'd also like to encourage the implementation committee to help this committee to follow up on the implementation of most of these recommendations. Otherwise, I second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, now that the Committee on Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation have moved a report on the status of Chulaimbo County Hospital following their field visit, as presented by the Honorable Vincent Jagongo, Chairperson of the said committee, seconded by Honorable Emily, Vice Chairperson of the said committee. As per our standing order, I want to propose a question. And I propose that the motion, the adoption of the report of the status of Chulaimbo County Hospital by the Medical Services Public Health and Sanitation Committee is open for debate. Yes, Honorable Henrietta Bodo, Chair Implementation Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Good afternoon, honorable members. The recommendations that are being given on this floor, Mr. Speaker, are very, very good, and they are very, very important for all of us. But I also would like to inform the House that as an implementation committee, as a matter of priority, we are going to implement these resolutions. I don't know how much I can stress this, but all I know that we are going to implement these resolutions to the latter. Honorable Jagongo.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
I think as a matter of priority.
Mr. Speaker, I think my honorable colleague needs to clarify what she means by she's going to implement the resolutions to the latter. Mr. Speaker, as an assembly, we have 3 roles: representation, legislation, and oversight. Implementation lies with the executive. That is why the resolutions of this House are referred to the departments at the executive for implementation. The duty of the implementation committee is to follow up on the resolutions of the House and ensure that the resolutions made here are implemented, but by the executive, not by the committee of implementation.
Point of information. Speak. Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Rakwachi, whom do you want to inform?
I want to inform the House, Honorable Speaker, that the Honorable Member needs guidance. I think being that she chairs the implementation committee, now she thinks that it is her committee which is doing the implementation because it is the implementation committee.
What have you informed the House, Honorable Rakwachi? Honorable Henrietta, there was a point of order by Honorable Nerea.
Yes,
but I think it was a guidance that your committee is supposed to follow up on the implementation of the resolutions and not to implement the resolutions.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I agree with the honorable member. But I think sometimes we miss some of these things. Mr. Speaker, I used the article "we," which means I'm not going to do it alone. We are going to do it with the executive. So, Honorable Jagonga, I think I wrote on your statement. So I want to do it as a matter of priority. We want to do it as a matter of priority. That all this implementation, all these resolutions that are being passed in this House, we are going to implement them to the latter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Honorable Henrietta, you've been guided that as a chair of implementation committee, your work is to follow up on the implementation of the resolutions of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. Yesterday, some of us were not here. But I proposed
that if you want to, we can change the name. From I actually proposed that we can change the name from implementation to, and that was raised by Honorable Sami. That is a follow-up. Then we might as well change the name from implementation to following up.
Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
Honorable Nerea.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Nerea. Resume your seat. Honorable Henrietta, please, let me help you, Honorable Henrietta. Refer to our standing order. It's schedule. Thank you so much. I want you to open standing order number 191. Committee on Implementation. There shall be a select committee to be known as the Committee on Implementation, comprising the chairperson and not less than 8 and not more than 10 other members. Now I think you are 9, so you meet that provision. The committee shall scrutinize the resolutions of the county assembly, including adopted committee reports, petitions, and the undertakings given by the county executive, and examine whether or not such decisions and undertakings have been implemented, and where implemented, the extent to which they have been implemented, and whether such implementation has taken place within the minimum time necessary. And B, whether or not legislation passed by the county assembly has been operationalized, and where operationalized, the extent to which such operation has taken place within the minimum time necessary. And finally, the committee may propose to the county assembly sanctions against any member of the county executive committee who fails to report to the relevant select committee on implementation status of projects and programs under his or her docket without justifiable reasons. Honorable members, let me also refer you to standing order number 184. Reports on county assembly resolutions. It says that within 60 days of a resolution of the county assembly or adoption of a report of a select committee, the relevant member of the county executive committee under whose portfolio the implementation of the resolution falls shall provide a report to the relevant committee of the county assembly in accordance with Article 153 4B of the Constitution. Now that's where you follow up. Did they report within the 60 days given? And if you look at Schedule 2, the second schedule of the standing order, it provides what the sectoral committee does from agriculture, health, culture, public works, planning, ECD, that's education, JLAC, water, finance, water development. It gives the same. So, Honorable Henrietta, I hope you are guided, not Honorable Henrietta alone, but all the members, that implement committee follow up on the resolutions of the House and not implement. So you are guided by the standing order of the House and not your own definition. I hope you are guided. So we go back to the debate by the Health Committee. Honorable Tom Nyaoke, I'm seeing Honorable Henrietta. Are you satisfied? Where are you? Yes, give Honorable Henrietta 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think I'm guided, but I still insist on the word we. Thank you.
Now Honorable Henrietta is out of order because I've guided her appropriately. Honorable Tom Nyaoke.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to start by first thanking the committee for coming up with this clear report. Mr. Speaker, I have a lot of interest, in fact, immense interest in this report, Mr. Speaker, because it mirrors exactly what I also have in my ward, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the challenges they have outlined in this report from Chulaimbo Hospital, Mr. Speaker, it is the exact replica of so many of such hospitals in our wards and even sub-counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is something that I think going forward now, I have learned a lot that I should now not task the committee which made this report, but to mention something about the implementation committee led by the very able chair, Madam Henrietta. Mr. Speaker, if this thing can be followed and the recommendations listed herein by the committee is looked into, Mr. Speaker, I think we are going to improve, certainly with a lot of interest, improve our medical facilities, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you look at, for example, Katito Sub-County Hospital. This is a serious place, but you find that anybody can enter through any corner, Mr. Speaker, because there is no perimeter fence existing in that particular area. They do have a gate, but the gate is therefore useless if all the corners are left unfenced, Mr. Speaker. And that is exactly what is also happening in Chulaimbo. Mr. Speaker, the same thing that they have also mentioned in the same report, even in Katito Sub-County Hospital, you find that there is only one, I think, one M-Pesa agent that is always around the gate there, Mr. Speaker. One time I was there, and a patient was being, a very old mother who had just been dropped there, was being sent to go back to put 50 shillings, to deposit 50 shillings in an M-Pesa shop near the gate, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I therefore support this report entirely, which has been done by the committee, and I'm requesting that the committee concerned, and that is the implementing committee, to follow up. In fact, the number of days that we are giving them to take this, to follow up this, I think, Mr. Speaker, should now be reduced. And they should start following these things, the implementations of these things as soon as possible, so that we keep on improving and doing exactly what the committee has provided us. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I beg to support. Thank you.
Now, let me look at...
Many thanks, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to question and oppose the report on the floor of the House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the report coming from the Chair Health Committee, who I know to be very thorough and very dedicated. Today, I'm disappointed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in a report on the health department in any part of this country, without touching on the human resource, it's no report to this House. Mr. Speaker, as you are aware, even today we are talking in this House, the biggest challenge the Kenyans have, the Kisumu County citizens have, is the issues of health. And if you can get a report without human resource dedicated to it as the #1 challenge that we are going through, then I don't think, Mr. Speaker, we are going to take this county to the best direction. Mr. Speaker, we've seen even medical camps doing wonders without houses, just in tents, and people are treated because the resources are there in terms of human resource and the medical facilities that we get, like drugs. But Mr. Speaker, if the major problem in Chulaimbo County Hospital is power, and we don't get question about drugs and human resource, Mr. Speaker, I think Kisumu is on the better place. We don't need that report in this House because we can do better. But because of what I know happening today in Kisumu County, lack of staff or few staff and lack of drugs are the biggest challenges that we are experiencing in this county. Mr. Speaker, the other day we launched a drone that should be bringing drugs from Moroni, Chemelil to all sub-counties in Kisumu County. To date, I have not seen that drone drop anywhere in Nyakach sub-county to date. Mr. Speaker.
Order, Mr. Speaker.
What is the point of order, the Honorable Deputy Leader of Majority?
Southwest is misleading this house. Personally, I come from Nyakachi sub-county, and particularly my ward. Drone has dropped drugs more than 10 times and nearly every week. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Gadolimo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was saying I have not seen. I didn't say he has not seen. I don't know whether that's English or... I said I have not seen the drone drop any drug. I didn't say we have not seen as Nyakachi people. So I think it's guided. I can continue.
What is... Okay.
As a statement of fact, Mr. Speaker, I think it is also important to help our brother, Honorable Gado Lima, that we have seen these things because we are always available there in our medical hospitals. We have seen them delivering. In fact, sometimes they deliver while we are there. It is unfortunate that they have not delivered when he is there. But I hope next week he can try as much as possible to witness one. Thank you.
Honorable God, does it mean that you want to be called that now they are coming?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I also get reports from those who manage the ward on my behalf when I'm not there. And they have not reported that to me.
Point of order, Mr.
Speaker. What is it?
Mr. Speaker.
Are you all on point of order? So,
Yeah.
let me start with the Leader of Majority. The Deputy Leader of Majority.
Mr. Speaker, it is very unfortunate that the honorable member...
Put on your microphone.
It is on, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is very unfortunate that the member of Southwest Nyakachi, though he's a member of Southwest Nyakachi, but it's always in Nairobi, so when the drone comes, you may not be able to see. Unless you want us to divert the drone to pass through Nairobi over your house as they come to Nyakachi. Thank you.
Honorable, you already raised that matter in your first point of order, but Honorable Honorable James Omolo, is it the same?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just for a fact, I think okay is that even in Andingo Panga, there is a drone dropping drugs in that place. That is in my ward. And I think all of us have ascertained that at one point they are doing that occasionally. Maybe Honorable God is never in his ward. He is ever busy in Nairobi. Thank you.
Honorable Ann Ochola.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to inform my colleague, you are not staying at home. I know you are coming from Nairobi when you are coming in a meeting. So...
Honorable God, you need to withdraw that statement and apologize and proceed. It looks like the majority are saying that there are drones in your ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, having listened to the point of orders and point of information, allow me to take the next 1 week to confirm the same. Then I'll come back to apologize and give the way forward. But Mr. Speaker, I want to believe that the biggest cry of our people to date in Kisumu County is lack of drugs and staffs in our facilities. Before we get the big houses, we got to get the power and all that. Can we have the staff and the medical facilities like drugs, specifically drugs and human resource? Because to get a report, and Mr. Speaker, copy-pasting report, that you want to copy-paste a report from Chulaimbo and you have to master it in all the sub-counties, not going to help us. We want specifics. Some of these things need budgetary allocations. Even if you are to send my sister Henrietta Bodo to go and see the implementation process, if this house doesn't allocate money to those facilities in terms of implementation, the report will gather dust, they'll be there for the rest of the times. Because there's no MCA in this house who's ready to take his or her budget allocation for the ward to go and do power most of the time. Everybody wants to be seen to be doing a construction, and a construction. Mr. Speaker, some of these things need monies that are budgeted in flagship projects. And therefore, recommendations in terms of power outages, condemned buildings, Mr. Speaker, those things need budget allocations. And even if you were to tell our implementation committee to date that they go and follow up, without us putting budgetary allocations to the same. There's nothing they're going to implement, there's nothing they're going to follow up, and we're going to be here each and every year getting reports from the departments, from the committees, without being implemented. Mr. Speaker, I want to request that as these committees bring us reports in this House, can they bring reports with the methods of implementation? Some of these things are not just implemented by the word of mouth that the Assembly passed them. We can pass them, yes. Where is the money? Even if the CC member sits there, the chief officer sits there, the director sits there, without us, the appropriating unit, giving allocations to such like departments, they will not implement them. Like today, I've just heard from the vice chair that the contractors have refused to take a project of that Chulaimbo power outages, the power backup, because they have not implemented. And who should appropriate that money? It is the Assembly who should appropriate that money, so the contractors are paid and they give that power services to the contractors so that they are paid. But if you don't pay the contractors, and we keep on bringing reports here, Mr. Speaker, we are going to be doing this for the sake of sitting, and if there were sitting allowances, we would have been earning it, but nothing is going to work out in this county. Unless the committees, and I want to request, because some of us doesn't have committees, those who are in committees, I want to request you that bring reports to this House with the methods of implementation.
A point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
What is the point of order, Honorable?
Mr. Speaker, the Honorable member is misleading the House. There is none in this House who does not belong to a particular committee.
Honorable Gadolima.
Mr. Speaker, I think I'm in my committee. This is my committee, the whole House, and we are all here. So, these are a committee and this is a session. So, I don't have a specific committee where I'll bring a report. Is that correct? Please be advised. So, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I want to...
Mr. Speaker, still it is a committee of the whole House.
Honorable Gad, can you conclude? Other members want to debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
you have got 1 minute.
1 minute. I want to request the committees that as we bring reports to this House, please can you bring the reports with the methods of implementation? So that even our implementation committee, I've heard from the chair implementation, Mr. Speaker, I think the training that we got was still less. We need another 2 weeks so that the people can understand, other members can understand. Because as the majority leader is the chair of the selection committee, we were taught in Nairobi that he is conscious to give people these committees, but he used this grace of lack of consciousness to...
Thank you.
What is it the leader of majority?
Speaker, I rise on understatement of fact. I think it is incorrect for Honorable Gadolima to say that he does not belong to any committee. And in our standing orders, we do not have a committee called the Committee of the Whole House. I think Honorable Gad belongs to a committee of general oversight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You have concluded.
I've been informed rightly, but I was talking in terms of there's no day the committee called general oversight will be asked upon to bring any report in this House in terms of selected committees. We don't deal with any department in this county. We don't deal with any facility in terms of agriculture, in terms of water. So I don't think there's no day we'll bring it. But I'm asking those who are in those specific committees to ensure when they bring reports to this House, bring them with the methods of implementation so that when the committee of implementation follows up, they have to know there was a budget allocation, there was this to be done until we get the right thing. But just giving reports that we don't have power, we don't have houses, we don't have toilets, without allocations and no program on putting money in such programs, we are going to do nothing and we're going to waste our time. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Gad. I think what the Honorable Leader of Majority is saying that at least you belong to a committee, but you don't belong to a sectoral committee. That's what you are.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, that was what I'm saying in terms of Nini, but I don't have any committee. My committee is ongoing here.
You have a committee called General Oversight and not sectoral. Honorable Nerea?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm requesting Honorable Gad to sit back because, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Gad has a tendency of rushing through reports without keenly looking at them. Honorable Speaker, I want to brag that health is a committee that has a most competent clerk, and from the reports that have been presented here, Honorable Speaker, you can also affirm that...
point of information, Mr. Speaker.
I don't want to be informed, Mr. Speaker.
Not inform you. Honorable God, you have contributed. I want to inform the House. What is it? Mr. Speaker, I don't think this House works because of clerks. And if the report brought in this House are because of clerks, then the members are not doing their job. I think the report is for the Committee of Implementation or the Committee of Health, and it's the committee members who generate reports. Clerks are just but to write what the committee deliberated and agreed upon. So I want to inform my sister that, please, no competent staff you can talk about in this plenary. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, that's why I was asking Honorable Gad to at times sit back and listen and also pay attention to what others have to say. I've not even finished my statement and is rising on a point of order. Mr. Speaker, looking at this report, which I believe, and I'm so certain that Honorable Gad has not read, gauging from his submission, I want to refer him to...
Honorable Gad, you've been requested to sit down.
I want to refer him to recommendation number 1. And Mr. Speaker, recommendation number 1 talks of addressing the challenge of staff shortage that the Department of Medical Services and Sanitation, in collaboration with Kisumu County Service Board, should offering a solution to the issue of shortage, initiate urgent recruitment drive to fill vacant positions, prioritizing critical roles like registered nurses and specialists. 2 possible solutions offered there. Mr. Speaker, checking on number 2, that was on the issue of lack of power, there's another recommendation for collaboration with the infrastructure, energy, and public works to conduct a feasibility study to determine a more suitable option between a backup generator and a solar power system. Mr. Speaker, you can see these are very solid recommendations with possible solutions. So as a Committee of Health, we sat, we went round, looked at the possible challenges that our facilities have, and Mr. Speaker, we went round to try and come up with better ways of managing our facilities. Yesterday, we presented as a committee a report from Mulago Hospital, and you could see that what we saw from our exec visit was so excellent that we desired our facilities to emulate what the Mulago is doing. And actually, Mr. Speaker, that is why we as a committee decided that it is time we give our facilities and service to our people what ought to be given to them. And Mr. Speaker, reading from this report, I really believe we as a committee did our best. And I still want to say that our clerk is a very able clerk who reported exactly what the committee did. And I want to say that there was nothing missed from what we discussed. And therefore I want to say, and I still want to applaud our clerk, Angeline Obonyo, for a work well done. And Mr. Speaker, I just want to ask the Honorable House to help us adopt this report, because these facilities are spread across the county, and all we do as a committee is to represent all of us who do not sit in the health committee. That is why we went from from one facility to the other all over the county. And I believe, Mr. Speaker, this is well intended, and I want to urge the Honorable House to adopt this report. And when time comes for allocation of resources, I want to ask that we allocate resources with a view of improving the status of the facilities to give our people what they so deserve. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Benny Pete.
Mr. Speaker, Chola Imbo County Hospital is a very old healthy facility in Kisumu, and before their devolution, it was called the Provincial Referral Hospital. And the report we are getting on it today is a pathetic report showing things are not okay in that facility. And this is one of the facilities that we should be proud of in Kisumu County because of its age. And as the Honorable DS has said on their report of yesterday, the benchmarking, the report was full of praise of health facility in Uganda. And we were being urged to go and do benchmarking and copy from them, Mr. Speaker. And when such an old health facility like this has staff shortages, the staff is not adequate. And Mr. Speaker, recently there was recruitment in the health facility. We now wonder what is happening in this county, Mr. Speaker. The serious staff shortage in the facility. And it's not just a matter of saying it, that when we allocate, let's say the truth, where does the assembly allocate money in this county? When we approve, but the allocation is being done by the executive. The assembly needs to take the executive to task on the pathetic situation, the deplorable situation of our health facilities. Like when we talk, we want to make Russia, Jade, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, a parastatal. It will be at the level of Kenyatta and Moi referral hospitals. And the other hospitals we should be proud of to offer the same service will be Kisumu County Referral and Chulaimbo. And when they are now in pathetic situation, we need to open our eyes and raise these matters to the executive so that these become flagship projects of the executive. The little money being given to the MP of the area should not be pumped here. The finance department and the health department should sit down and see what good allocations should be given to a country referral hospital to improve its infrastructure, its facilities, and the staffing level. When we talk that way and we make a decision, we shall be the legislators of Kisumu County, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the problem is that these reports are not numbered. Chair, take note of that so that reference becomes easy. There is no maternity theater in the hospital. This is a very big drawback when there is no maternity theater in the hospital, such a big hospital. How are we helping our mothers to give birth to the young ones in the absence of a maternity? This should be addressed by the executive, that is finance department and the health department. Mr. Speaker, there is also a suggestion that the asbestos from the buildings should be removed. You know, it was 2005 when Honorable Nyagudi was the MP of Kisumu Town. The matter of cancer was raised, that it was on the rise in Kisumu. And the answer was, it is because at that time, the supply of water was very poor. And our people depended on rainwater. And the rainwater they depended on was from the roof. So asbestos was classified as a promoter of cancer. That is also a matter that we should not lose sight of. When we go through this report, such a big health facility, a country referral health facility, has no microscope in the laboratory. How are tests done in this facility? No laboratory microscope. Members, let us not just take report as we are condemning the report, we are supporting the report. We must tell the executive the truth that when such a facility has no microscope, that is a big mistake on our government. The infant incubator is not there. The maternity delivery beds are not there. Beds for the patients are not there. Look at the situation in that hospital. Very poor. Members, that is what we are presiding over in Kisumu County. We are also told challenges faced by the facility. You know now, cash collection is not allowed and it is dangerous. And they don't have their good way of collecting money from the public. They rely on a private M-Pesa agent. When a health facility of this magnitude relies on a private M-Pesa agent, what picture does it give us on our financial management? Very poor. And Mr. Speaker, on the recommendations, they are saying they are raising here the matter of pending bills. Money collected by the facility that is supposed to be got from National Hospital Insurance Fund is not easily got by the facility. The Linda Mama claims are also not easily got. The executive must come in to help the health facility to get these funds so that the pending bills are paid. And we should also have been given the allocation given by this facility by the executive. What allocation is given to this facility by the department? And does that allocation reach the health facility? When it is suggested that the Waziri for Infrastructure, Public Works and Energy should address infrastructural issues to control floods in the facility, that is a good idea. But how is Waziri for Infrastructure going to do that when the real department has not sat down and done good consultation and the cost that needs to be looked into, Mr. Speaker. Then, Mr. Speaker, now I come to the matter of implementation committee on number 9. The reports that have been passed here on other health facilities, the committee is asking if the implementation committee has made a follow-up on their implementation, which sounds good. But let us ask ourselves, report on the status of referral hospitals in Kisumu County of 10th August 2023. That is Kisumu County Referral Hospital. Then there's the Nyakach County Hospital, that is Papunditi. Then the sub-county hospitals in Kisumu. The matters that were raised and that are supposed to be followed by the implementation committee, yet we know very well that these matters touch on finances. These matters touch on finances. Have these allocations been done to these health facilities? Probably no. So what is the implementation committee going to make a follow-up on? Zero work. It is only that the chair needs to be inducted a little so that she knows how to go about the work in a committee. Mr. Speaker, the report is a good one, but it is a big challenge to us on how our health facilities are being managed. That is what we need to address. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, I noticed Honorable Kumudo first, but I'm seeing Honorable Ken is on his feet. Looks like Kumudo went down.
Okay. Many thanks, Honorable Speaker. Many thanks to honorable members, and a good afternoon to everyone as well.
What is it, Honorable Deputy Leader Majority?
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Kumudo on the floor is naked. But Mr. Speaker, this is a very bad practice. Let us be honorable members. You know the rules of the House. You can see in this House, not only Honorable Komudo, quite a number of members are naked. They are really portraying this House very negatively. They are even encouraging some of our...
Honorable Komudo, can you stand up?
Thank you. Many thanks. Once more. Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform my colleague that I had a surgery and I have a spine issue and I've been referred not to be using a necktie. I will go in to get a medical report shortly after this, which I'm able to avail. Yeah. Honorable, given time.
All the honorable members. All honorable deputy leader majority. Honorable Komudo, I do not have any report from you, so please, you can excuse yourself so that you dress properly and you come back. Or alternatively, you please furnish me with the doctor's advice.
Yeah, given some few minutes, I would be able to obtain the report, and also given a few minutes, I would be able to dress accordingly, according to the wishes of the House. However, I am restricted.
Please proceed and furnish me with the report, or you dress properly.
Honorable Speaker, I have not finished with my point of order, Mr. Speaker. I'm saying that the trend...
Honorable Komudo, I have advised you step aside, you dress properly, or you furnish me with the report. Honorable Lumumba?
Mr. Speaker, if we are not careful, this House will degenerate into a cattle market. In this House, I can count. I have Honorable Swagger, equally naked. Oh, but it's improperly dressed. Yeah, let us take our work seriously and not. We are honorable members. Sometimes we are called as parents to schools where we are told your child was not properly dressed. If you cannot be properly dressed in this House, how are you going to defend or how are you going to punish yourself? Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Joachim.
Mr. Speaker, I think the eyes of the Deputy Majority Leader are naked, and he has to be informed that the representative from Kondele is properly dressed, and therefore he has to withdraw and apologize, because the people of Kondele are watching and they know me as somebody who dresses very well. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Deputy Majority, I did not hear the name of Honorable MCA for Kondele mentioned. So I think we proceed.
Mr. Speaker.
What is the number, Deputy Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, allow me to give information to the General House. Mr. Speaker, as much as we rise on points of order, it is proper that we quote the orders upon which we are standing. And also, Mr. Speaker, on the same note, maybe not on dressing, Mr. Speaker, it's also out of order to leave our phones on the ringing modes. And Mr. Speaker, one of us has just had his phone ringing and disturbing us. Mr. Speaker, we may not have orders, some of these orders in writing, Mr. Speaker, but this is a house, in the Speaker's rules, we need to have our phones on silent mode, Mr. Speaker. We are not asking that we leave our phones outside, but it is in bad taste that our phones keep ringing when we are debating, Mr. Speaker. I've communicated, Mr. Speaker.
What is it, the Honorable Leader of Majority?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are in the House. Personally, I have not had any phone ringing, so I think the member should come under statement of facts and quote for us the standing order.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you know, as honorable members, we need to be honorable even in our statements and citations. Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Leader of Majority has just had his phone ringing when he was on a point of order. And Majority Leader is covering him. It is not in good taste. We are leaders, Mr. Speaker, and the Speaker's rules are very clear.
Honorable members, we work through the rules providing the standing order. We have traditions. We also have the Speaker's rules. We also have precedents. I think it's just in order that we be orderly. In terms of phone, I have not had any phone ring, but I think if a member had a phone ringing, it's good that we put our phone either in silent mode or in vibration mode. It's good to be orderly. Honorable members, let us focus on the debate. We still have another report that is coming. So, Honorable Ouko, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I would like to thank the committee for help, for coming up with a detailed report on the health status of our facilities. Mr. Speaker, we are failing to pinpoint where the problem is. The problem which is actually affecting our facilities is Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. We are doing a lot on Jaramogi in the expense of our hospitals within the sub-counties. And it is high time, Mr. Speaker, the committees will come with a resolution that we surrender Jaramogi so that Kisumu District Hospital can be made a referral hospital to take care of what Jaramogi was doing, and Jaramogi be given to the national government. For one, if we don't do that, actually we'll still be crying and lamenting over these issues. Actually, it was explained sometimes back that if we surrender Jaramogi to national government, we will be having adequate resource and manpower to take care of sub-county hospitals and even our dispensaries back home. The moment we still hang on Jaramogi, we will be pumping a lot of money which will buy generators in Chulaimbo. We'll be using a lot of money which should be giving drugs to Papunditi or Nyakach sub-county hospital. So the best thing for us, let us do away with Jaramogi and we handle issues back home so that our people can get services. That is the only solution. Otherwise, all the reports will be coming to the Assembly with good recommendations, but due to financial constraints, we will not be able to manage. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Honorable Mildred Ajumbo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to add my voice to the Committee of Health, and I want to say kudos to their good observations and their recommendations. Mr. Speaker, this committee has been going round, I think from last year. They also went round to my ward that houses the Kombewa Sub-County Hospital, and I want to report here that they did a good work by going round. I had to offer them lunch. And I want to say that sometimes do not take it for granted when the committees are making site visits. As the area MCA, ensure that you are around so that when the report is brought to the Assembly, you have something to talk about your sub-county hospital. The observations are more or less the same, Mr. Speaker. All these hospitals have issues of asbestos, those condemned buildings. Everything else is the same. I'm not going to repeat again the observations. Recommendations are always the same. Copy-pasted. Challenges are always the same. I'm not saying that the committee copy-pasted the challenges and the observations and recommendations. But, Mr. Speaker, it's the same thing when you go to the sub-county hospitals. Everything else is the same. So what is the way forward, Mr. Speaker? Some of these recommendations are saying that there is inadequate staff. Just recently there was employment. We don't know if the health facilities in Chulaimbo and the other areas, members were employed there, so that we do not again talk about the inadequate staffing. And many other things, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are facing, we are going to our budget. Mr. Speaker, I'm talking and members are busy laughing. I'm not sure why members, Honorable Jagongo and Seth, who are members of the Health Committee are busy laughing. Mr. Speaker, protect me.
Honorable Jagonga, Honorable Seth. Yeah. What are you laughing?
Honorable Speaker, we are not laughing, we're just smiling loudly.
Honorable Mildred.
Mr. Speaker, these are members of the Health Committee who are going round. And I mentioned here when they came to our health facility in Kombewa, I offered them lunch. And I don't know whether they were laughing because I gave them lunch, but the report that came out, Mr. Speaker, is the same report that we are reading today. That's why I'm saying, yes, they did a good work, but then the Health Committee, most of them sit in the budget team, Mr. Speaker. They're in the budget committee, and when this report will be coming out, when the health department will be coming to do their budget, Mr. Speaker, I expect Honorable Jagongo and Seth to talk about some of these issues so that when they look at the health committee budget, they'll be able to even question and query, where is the Kombewa sub-county hospital, where is Chulaimbo? So I expect Seth, who is coming from Seme, to defend that report, Mr. Speaker, when it comes out. Thank you. I support the committee's work.
Seth, switch off your microphone.
I just wanted to remind my sister, the Honorable Mildred Ajumbo. By practice, I cannot honor myself. So when she's mentioning my name, I think it's just courteous if you say the Honorable Seth. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I think the mover can reply because I'm not seeing any other member on the floor. What is it, Honorable Kumudo? I mean, there was a lot of time and there was no member standing.
Honorable Speaker, many thanks once more. Earlier on, I'd reason to give my facts, and because of those consequences, I wasn't allowed. I hope I'm now orderly to give my projection in the report. Because specifically, Mr. Speaker, this thing touches on me and in many ways, and I'd wanted to contribute to that. However, if time is not allowing, then the mover could reply. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank all the members who and who have raised concerns. I believe the committee were listening keenly, and we've taken in the concerns that you've raised. I think together with the motion, we'll have a good case to handle. Mr. Speaker, I know nowadays the trend is that when chair is reading the minutes, we only deal with and not the only report. So the Honorable Guard did not go through the report. That's why he had issues with the things that were there in the report. But I would want to say, Mr. Speaker, the reason why we are pushing the implementation committee to take up this matter is because, as we've said, most of the challenges are similar. And once it is discussed in this assembly, they need to do a follow-up and ensure that whatever was discussed in the assembly is implemented by the executive. And a report is given back to this assembly so that we know we discussed A, B, C, D, and 5 out of the 6 issues that were discussed, 4 have been implemented, and maybe 2 have not been implemented. So I think it's high time that the committee move with the speed and ensure that all the matters that are discussed in this assembly are worked on. Mr. Speaker, on the same note, I also want to thank the majority leader for ensuring that I be part of the committee of implementation. I believe with the energy that I have, we'll push that committee so that we get results for the implementation of projects within our community. Otherwise, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. We believe would want to move this county to another level in terms of health issues. The issue of GOTRH is something that we've discussed here several times. We moved to level 6 hospital, and I think it's something that is now beyond us, because we had recommended some times back. We've been pushing for it, and I think the executive need to put more effort on it so that it gives us way so that we can have more healthcare workers employed in these lower level facilities. Otherwise, thank you.
Honorable members, now that the motion for adoption of a report of Medical Services Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of Chulaimbo County Hospital have been moved, seconded, and debated, it's now time that I put a question. And I put that as many of the opinion that the motion adoption of report for the Medical Services Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of Chulaimbo County Hospital be adopted, say aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it. And the motion adoption of a report of the Medical Services Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of Chulaimbo County Hospital have been adopted today, Thursday, the 4th of April, 2024 at 16:04 hours. And I want to direct that the recommendations of the said report be communicated to the relevant departments for action. Next order.
Order number 9, motion. Adoption of a report of Finance and ICT Committee on consideration of the model governmental conditional allocation transfer agreement for the financial year 2023-2024.
Honorable Karen.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is a committee of finance and ICT, and I'm here to present a report, a committee report on model intergovernmental conditional allocation transfer agreement for the financial year 2023-2024. Honorable Speaker, the membership of this committee comprises of, number 1, Honorable Karen Odhiambo, who is the chairperson, Honorable Member Wade, vice chair, Jackie Mokech, honorable member, Honorable Ken Ouko, member, Honorable Mickey Awar, member, Honorable Benson Adega, member, Honorable Abaja, member. Secretariat, we have Peter Nditi, principal clerk, Grace Kunga, committee clerk, Sablin Otiende, senior asset reporter, Abraham Odegi, Sergeant Atam. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, on behalf of the Standing Committee of Finance and ICT Committee, I wish to convey my sincere gratitude for the invaluable support granted to the committee by the Office of Speaker and that of the clerk for the effective execution and remarkable accomplishment of the committee task. I also commend the Secretariat for having played a major role in organization and coordination of the event and further compiling this report. I also appreciate the County Executive Committee member and his technical team who honored the committee invitation and appeared before this committee to give clarity on the policy document before the House. I must confess that their presence made our task easier. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, the County Executive Committee member for Finance, Economic Planning and ICT, where our correspondence referred as KC FINC Assembly Volume 6, 107, dated 21st February 2024, forwarded to the County Assembly the Model Intergovernmental conditional allocation transfer agreement, which was a deliberation between the National Treasury and the Council of Governors, whose sole purpose was that the CCM tables the model before the County Assembly for approval. Consequently, pursuant to the provision of Article 119 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and Section 191A3 and 191B of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, ensure that public participation on this model is conducted so that the views of the public are gathered and incorporated in the model. In light of the above, the model intergovernmental conditional allocation transfer agreement was tabled before this House on Wednesday, 6th March 2024, and...
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Dede, why don't you let the Honorable Chair Finance finish her?
Understanding Order 36.
Which says?
The time when the motion should be placed. Should be
can you read through Order number 36, Honorable Dede?
With me, I don't have the standing order, but I must study it. Standing order 36.
I want to refer you to Order number 36, which says order paper to be prepared and circulated, which was done. Honorable Dede, you are out of order.
Kindly, Madam Speaker, if it was not calculated, kindly may I have the order so that I can debate upon whatever I know. I don't have it with me.
Honorable Dede, I'm taking you through Order number 36, which reads, that is part 8 of our standing orders, which talks of order of business. And I want to believe that the order paper under discussion today was circulated more than 12 hours. So, Honorable Dede, you are out of order. Honorable Karen?
Point of order.
Thank you.
Members, what is it? You let the Honorable member finish reading through her report.
Speaker, that is why we are seeking point of order, because we need to go in tandem with the person reading the document, Madam Speaker.
Okay, which order are you standing on, Honorable Member?
Statement of fact, Madam Speaker.
Which facts do you want to state?
92, I think 92, 1.
Order number 92-1.
Yes.
Can you read that order, Honorable Nyaoke?
It says that when a statement is being read in the House and possibly there is no concurrence, a member is at liberty to raise a point of order.
Honorable Nyaoke. Honorable Majority Leader, just a minute. Honorable Nyaoke, order number 91 talks on debate on amendment confined to an amendment. So, Honorable Member, you are out of order. Yes, Majority Leader.
Chair.
Yes, Honorable Majority.
Chair, I want to inform the House, if you allow me, I continue.
Allowed, Honorable Majority.
I would like to inform the House that when a report is being read, we cannot do a point of order.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Members, you stand informed. Honorable Chair, Finance, continue.
Thank you, Majority Leader and Honorable Speaker, for protecting me. I think Honorable Dede wanted to complain that the report has not been posted, but this was done sometime back, because I can remember very well that yesterday I gave a notice of this report. So just check your WhatsApp. I proceed. In light of the above, the model intergovernmental conditional allocation transfer agreement was tabled before the House on Wednesday, 6 March 2024, and the Standing Committee of Finance and ICT for appropriate processing in line with the committee mandate. And these are the objectives of the model intergovernmental conditional allocation transfer agreement. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the procedure and purposes of executing this agreement is provided for in section 191A, 3, which states that where a county government intends to enter in an agreement under the subsection 1, the county executive committee member shall submit the model agreement respective county assembly for approval. Further, there is a requirement that stakeholder engagement is conducted as outlined in section 191B, and submission of the same be forwarded to the Senate in line with section 191D and requisition of funds in 191E. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the County Government Additional Allocation Bill 2023, that is National Assembly Bill number 23 of 2023, provides that the additional resource allocation to county governments for each respective financial year. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the committee, via a letter dated 15th March 2024, invited Mr. Jojo Kongo, the County Executive Committee member for Finance and ICT, who appeared before the House Committee. The CCM was accompanied by the following technical staff: Mr. Martin Opio, who is the Director for Finance; Mr. Wilson Abiero, who is in the Finance Department. The CC member, in his response on the model, informed the House Committee that his office had received a correspondence from the National Treasury and Economic Planning referred to as IGFR/IATIA A74, dated 8 January 2024, stating that the provisions of section 191A to 191E had been amended, and that mandate the principal secretaries, National Treasury consent to sign intergovernmental agreement with respective county governments before grants and conditional allocations are disbursed to respective county government entities. To actualize this, a task force was constituted to develop a model intergovernmental conditional allocation transfer agreement, which was sent to the officer of the legal officer, National Treasury, to provide legal advisory on the same, which was recommended and adopted by the Attorney General for further execution. Madam Speaker and honorable members, in further to that, the County Executive Committee member for Finance and ICT again received further correspondence from the Council of Governors addressed to all County Executive Committee members for Finance and Economic Planning, dated 9th January 2024, affirming the same with attached model agreement for county governments, requesting respective ECs members to table the model agreement before respective county assemblies for approval thereafter, to ensure that public participation is conducted in accordance with the provisions of section 191A3 and 191B of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. And you can check if you have the report. It is in the annexes. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the County Government Additional Allocation Bill 2023, that is the National Assembly Bill number 23 of 2023, was referred to a mediation team, which was a team constituted from both houses of the parliaments, where a mediated version of the bill was passed by both houses on 21st and 22nd February 2024, with the following amendments, and assented on 4th March 2024 by His Excellency the President, paving way for implementation. The mediation team formulated the following amendments, which were part of the bill assented for implementation. And honorable members, I want you to get this clear. Part A, that the conditional allocation provision of library services to be revised to Kenya shillings 162,848,690 allocated among 21 counties. Part B, that the conditional allocation financed by a grant from the German Development Bank to finance locally led climate action plan, that is FLOCA, totaling to 1.2 billion be included in the bill. Part C, that the conditional allocation for community health promoters project from the national government share of revenue not provided for in the bill for the financial year 2023-2024. Part D, that the mediated version of the county government additional allocation bill 2023, and I repeat, that's the National Assembly Bill number 23 of 2024, be granted an exemption of 2 financial years, being financial year 2023-2024 and 2024-2025 from the requirement of section 191A to 191E of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. And this one you can also check in the annexes. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the Council of Governors issued further advisory as follows. And honorable members, I request you to listen carefully to get this point. That, number 1, county government revises the budget estimates for the financial year 2023-2024 to conform with the figures approved by both houses. Number 2, that the county governments will not, and I repeat, will not be required to enter into any agreement for transfer of conditional grants for the following financial year 2023-2024 and 2024-2025 respectively. Madam Speaker and honorable members, County Executive Committee member for Finance and ICT stated that if this model had been approved as was presented, it would have triggered momentous delays in disbursement of grants and conditional allocation of funds to county governments, which could have been necessitated by red tape bureaucracies, leading to stalled and incomplete projects, which is a serious threat to devolution. Madam Speaker and honorable members, this came even as the Council of Governors, through the Intergovernmental Budget Economic Council, lodged for the repeal of the amendments to the Public Finance Management Act 2012, Section 191A to 191E, which obligates the National Treasury to enter into intergovernmental agreements with respective county governments before the transfer of conditional allocations. Madam Speaker and honorable members, this is therefore to implore this House to suspend for a period of 2 years until government receive further advisory from the Council of Governors. Thank you. And I therefore call upon Honorable Joachim Okech to second.
Yeah. Chair Budget.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to second the report by the Chair of Finance on the model of intergovernmental conditional allocation transfer agreement. And Madam Speaker, just as read by the Chair, you know that this agreement was to inform how the county government of Kisumu implements the allocation it receives for grants. And therefore, it was a requisite that what was passed by the National Assembly, that we sign the agreement. And this agreement was to be between the Treasury and the respective, what we call the recipient county government, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, you've seen that the bill or the act that was assented to by the President had issues, and the Council of Governors noted that we were going to have a lot of delay. We were equally going to suffer because some of the grants that we were to receive as a county were not going to come. Some of the projects had started, like what we call KISIP, that's already ongoing, and the requirement that before the release of funds, there has to be an agreement was going to bring a lot of delay, Madam Speaker. Of course, the national government is still working on it, and therefore the advisory by the Council of Governors is that we delay it by 2 years, so that the amendments on the PFM Act, that is on Part 191, Part B, D, and E, be amended before we can implement it. And therefore, I do agree with the committee and the advisory by the CCM Finance and the advisory by the Council of Governors that we suspend it for a period of 2 years as the amendments are being ordered. Otherwise, I want to thank the committee for the good work. I stand to second. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, a report by the Committee of Finance and ICT on the model intergovernmental conditional allocation transfer agreement for the financial year 2023-2024 has been moved by the Chair Finance, Honorable Karen Odhiambo, and properly seconded by the Chair Budget and Implementation, Honorable Joachim Okemch. I therefore want to propose a question of debate. And I say that the motion on the report is open for debate. Honorable Nyaoke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, it is clear, and I think it is in everyone's knowledge, that in as much as we need funds from our development partners, Madam Speaker, it is also important that the conditions that come with these funds are also made easier for the absorption of the respective counties, Madam Speaker, to make good use of these funds. Madam Speaker, there are certain times and occasions that we have seen, even at the national government, the development partners that come with finance. They may come with good financial models, Madam Speaker, but the reception and the acceptance of this model sometimes are very prohibitive in a manner that even if the funds are made available, Madam Speaker, then the time for disbursements of those monies, Madam Speaker, becomes very challenging. I think it is in this backdrop that the committee felt it necessary to discuss with the relevant departments to see how much easy we can make these monies available to our respective counties, Madam Speaker. It is therefore important that we impress upon this House to unanimously, if possible, to adopt the report that is going to help, because they have given a period of anticipation of 2 years to suspend these so-called bottlenecks, to allow us to agree on the best way that we can work with our development partners, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we do appreciate the development partners that come, and we still confirm that we are ready and very willing to work with them as our regular partners. I've seen like IDA, I've seen also Danida, who are our great development partners from a long time ago, Madam Speaker. But then I think what we need to do in this House is to legislate and come up with a method that can work towards a better model, Madam Speaker. Sometimes even the finance or the monies can be available, the grant can be available, Madam Speaker, but now to get it put into use, Madam Speaker, becomes very difficult and takes very untidy time. Madam Speaker, I therefore wish to call upon my fellow members that we support this, the adoption of this motion that I truly believe is going to help us come with the right consensus to work with our development fund partners. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to support.
Honorable Emily.
Madam Speaker, going by the mood of the House, I call upon the mover to reply.
Members, I want to agree with Honorable Emily that there does not seem to be any member who still wants to give any submissions on this report. And I want to call upon Honorable Karen to reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to thank honorable members because silence means consent. It means you have agreed with this report. And without wasting time, you are ready to adopt it. Honorable Nyaoke talked of the duration taken before we get the grants. I do agree that it is not easy to receive grants immediately to do the work they're supposed to do. And moving forward, we need to find a way, or else we'll be receiving grants, but they won't help because the intended projects are not going to be completed. And Madam Speaker, I therefore reply.
Honorable members, the motion on the report by the Committee on Finance and ICT on Model Intergovernmental Conditional Allocation Transfer Agreement for the financial year 2023-2024 has been moved, seconded, and debated upon. I therefore want to put a question of adoption that may, as many are of the opinion that the report be adopted, say aye. May, as many of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. And the report of the Standing Committee of Finance and ICT on the Model Intergovernmental Conditional Allocation Transfer Agreement for the financial year 2023-2024 has been adopted today, Thursday, 4th April 2024 at 16:30 hours. And I want to direct that the report, together with a copy of the Hansard, be prepared and forwarded to the relevant department for action. Next order.
Order number 10, motion. Adjournment of the County Assembly pursuant to orders number 26.3 of the Standing Orders and the House Resolution of Thursday, 22nd February 2024 until Tuesday, 23rd April 2024 at 2:30 p.m.
Honorable Majority, you are so eager to move the report. I can see the clerk is still reading and you're already on your feet.
Thank
go
you.
On, go on.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to move a motion of adjournment. Madam Speaker, and all members acknowledging that at its sitting of Thursday, 22nd February 2024, the House approved the County Assembly annual calendar for 2024. That's a regular session, outlining that the short recess was scheduled to commence on Friday, 5th April 2024 and conclude on Monday, 22nd April 2024. Further acknowledging the importance of orderly legislative proceedings, orders number 26 part 3 of the County Assembly Standing Orders specify that on a day when the County Assembly is scheduled to adjourn to a day other than the next normal sitting day in accordance with the County Assembly calendar, a motion of adjournment shall be moved by the leader of majority party, the leader of the minority party, or another member of the County Assembly Business Committee. This motion shall be debated for not more than 3 hours, after which the County Assembly shall adjourn without a question put. Recognizing the demanding nature of the legislative duties and the need for honorable members to adequately address constituency concerns and engage in community activities, a recess becomes imperative as it offers members the opportunity for in-depth constituency work and overall rejuvenation. Now, therefore, the the Assembly, recognizing the importance of this recess in fostering effective representation and legislative performance, this House prays that the County Assembly do now adjourn for a short recess pursuant to Orders number 26, part 3 of the standing orders, and read together with the House resolution of Thursday, 22nd February 2024 until Tuesday, 23rd April 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Honorable Speaker, I would like to request my able deputy to second. Thank you.
Honorable Lumumba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to second the motion of adjournment. It is true, Madam Speaker, that our members need to go to their respective wards and interact with their electorates. Indeed, it is long since we resumed, and it is part of our responsibility as members of the County Assembly to also check on what is going on in terms of development projects, also to interact with our members on development and various issues in the world. So it is timely that we adjourn and continue with our other respective duties as members of the County Assembly. I therefore second the motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, now that a motion, Honorable Lumumba, switch off your microphone. Now that the Honorable Leader of Majority has moved a motion, adjournment of County Assembly pursuant to Standing Order number 26.3 of the Standing Orders and the House resolution on Thursday, 22nd February 2024. Until Tuesday, 23rd April 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Seconded, I want to propose a question. And I propose that the adjournment motion is open for debate. Okumu.
Honorable Speaker, having consulted deeply with the House, it has been agreed that the mover replies.
Honorable Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, now that the House has deeply consulted on this motion that we break for recess starting Friday, 5th April 2024 and conclude on Monday, 22nd April 2024. Mr. Speaker, I agree with the members that this time they will get an opportunity to interact with the electorate now that we are in the budget making process. At least members will interact, and when they come back with concrete findings from the electorate. And Honorable Speaker, I reply.
Honorable members, the motion on the motion on adjournment of the county proceedings for short recess has been moved, seconded, and reply made. I want to refer ourselves to Standing Order number 26.3. Number 26.3. And I want to read it that on a day when the County Assembly is scheduled to adjourn to a day other than the next normal sitting day, in accordance with the County Assembly calendar, the Leader of Majority or the Leader of Minority Party or another member of the County Assembly Business Committee shall move a motion of adjournment, which shall be debated for not more than 3 hours, after which the County Assembly shall adjourn without being questioned. Honorable members, with that standing order, the House stands adjourned until Tuesday, the 23rd of April 2024 at 2:30 p.m.